Stop everything for a second. Feel that quiet pull deep in your chest. That's no accident. Your inner self stirred the moment you saw this, urging you to stay. You've been led here by a divine force that's watched over you forever, waiting for you to pause and listen. Picture yourself navigating life alone, masking your weariness with a brave face, enduring silent struggles while the world moves on oblivious. But you're not alone. Divine eyes have witnessed every tear shed in darkness, every forced step forward when your soul screamed for a break, every hidden wound you've tried to ignore. Heaven hasn't missed a single plea you've sent upward in desperation. What you've dismissed as mere survival is far greater. Your gut feelings? That's heavenly insight guiding you. Your endurance? God's unseen support holding you up when your own strength faltered. Even in exhaustion, your spirit has been relentlessly active, waging invisible wars, lifting burdens for others without a word, sensing threats before they emerge. That's why emotions hit you first, why strangers open up to you effortlessly, why entering a space alters its energy. You've been tuned to the spiritual realm longer than you realize, operating on a level most never touch. And just when you thought it was all random fatigue, consider this. Your physical drain stems from non-stop spiritual labor. You've guarded against chaos, offered silent prayers, deflected harm, all without full awareness. Those unexplained energy crashes around specific folks.
Attention, you need to prepare now. I put together an exclusive resource for those who feel set apart for something greater, but live surrounded by noise, distractions, and mental overload. This is a 30-day journey that will transform your life, a guided path to armor your mind and prepare for what's coming, with daily practices of focus, boundaries, and discipline. Stop negotiating with the noise. Learn to spot distractions before they control you and strengthen your mind. Also available in an immersive audio version. Over 10,000 readers have already transformed their lives through the 30-day journey. Thousands of people have already started this transformation. People like you who were tired of living in the fog. Ordinary people who decided to stop accepting mental chaos. Take advantage of this limited time offer only this month. Access your link just below in the pinned comment.
Spiritual signals. Sudden heaviness with no cause. Your essence detecting unrest. Sleepless nights staring into the void, heart racing over unnamed tensions. Not nerves. Your spirit intercepting brewing storms. Impulses to pray out of nowhere that brought instant calm. That's reconnection to your true power source. You've always stood apart, haven't you? Reading vibes others ignore, spotting deceit behind smiles, foreseeing trouble on the horizon, aching for the unseen pain in those around you. Every trial has honed this gift, forging you into a sentinel carrying loads no one else perceives. Your conflicts drag on heavier, wounds slice deeper. Yet you press on, not from human grit, but unyielding spiritual fortitude. God embedded a defender within, one who doesn't just exist but safeguards, perceives, and navigates with profound depth. If this resonates with something you felt but never understood, subscribe to this channel right now. You're about to uncover truths that will shift how you see your entire existence. Now, uncover the deeper mystery. Much of your load wasn't yours alone. Waves of sorrow crashing without personal ties, terror striking from clear skies, exhaustion amid calm days. These were echoes of battles for loved ones, intercessions for the vulnerable. Your sensitivity is intentional, a shield diverting peril from family lines, calming tempests for skeptics, preserving souls unaware of the threats. Adversaries targeted you fiercely, knowing your downfall would unravel protections for many. That mismatched anxiety, baseless gloom, sudden depletion, proof of your role as heaven's trusted warrior, absorbing pressures that would shatter others. You've shouldered collective grief, anticipated disloyalty, echoed distant cries, all because your spirit is built for this. Think about the moments when you sensed danger before it materialized. When you felt compelled to reach out to someone only to discover they were silently collapsing. When your presence alone brought peace to a chaotic room, though you said nothing. These aren't coincidences or psychological tricks. They're manifestations of your spiritual authority operating beyond your conscious control. The ancients understood this. In countless traditions, there's recognition of souls chosen before birth to stand as intermediaries between realms, bearing weights invisible to ordinary perception. The biblical prophets didn't choose their sensitivity, it chose them, often against their will, dragging them into battles they never asked for, but were uniquely equipped to fight. Your exhaustion isn't weakness. It's evidence of work done in dimensions most people never access. While others sleep peacefully, your spirit remains vigilant, intercepting attacks aimed at those you love, deflecting curses spoken in malice, standing guard over territories you didn't know you were assigned to protect. Breathe deeply and absorb this. Foes didn't strike your outward self, but your potent inner authority. Your whispers pierce shadows, your aura realigns spaces, your essence commands respect that terrifies chaos. That's the battlefield intensity you've known, defending realms beyond your own. Every inexplicable tear you've shed, every moment of overwhelming emotion that seemed divorced from your circumstances, every sudden urge to intercede for someone you barely know. These were your spirit responding to calls from the unseen world, fulfilling assignments your conscious mind couldn't comprehend. The enemy knows who you are, even when you don't. That's why the attacks have been so relentless, so personal, so designed to make you doubt your own sanity. Darkness doesn't waste ammunition on irrelevant targets. The intensity of your warfare reveals the magnitude of your purpose. Consider how often you felt misunderstood, isolated, carrying revelations you couldn't articulate without sounding dramatic or delusional. That's because your operating system runs on frequencies most humans haven't activated. You're not broken, you're upgraded, calibrated for purposes that transcend ordinary existence. If you're beginning to see yourself differently, hit that like button. It helps this message reach others who desperately need to hear it. Reflect on victories that defy logic. You outlasted devastations that crumble most, mended from blows meant to embitter forever, rose from floods threatening your core beliefs. Those suffocating phases, chest-crushing weights, doubts of joy's return. You didn't merely persist, you bloomed amid the blaze. Tears nourished unbreakable resolve, setbacks deepened your insight, fractures propelled you heavenward. Betrayers, in unknowingly serving a higher plan, cleared paths to your destiny by exiting your orbit. Every person who walked away thinking they defeated you actually freed you from distractions. Every door that slammed in your face redirected you toward portals only visible to those refined by fire. Every moment you thought you were losing was actually you shedding identities too small for where you're headed. The greatest confirmation of your calling isn't found in external validation, but in supernatural resilience. Normal people don't survive what you've survived. Ordinary spirits don't carry what you've carried. Common souls don't rise from ashes repeatedly, each time stronger, wiser, more aligned with divine purpose. Your endurance itself is miraculous. Medical science can't explain how you're still standing after emotional traumas that hospitalize others. Psychology struggles to categorize the healing you've experienced without conventional intervention. Logic fails to account for the peace you've found amid chaos that breaks trained professionals. That's because your recovery wasn't human, it was heavenly. Every night you cried yourself to sleep, celestial forces were rebuilding you from the inside out. Every morning you forced yourself upright, despite wanting to disappear. Angelic reinforcements flooded your bloodstream with strength, not biologically sourced. You've been supernaturally sustained through seasons that should have destroyed you. And that sustainability isn't random luck. It's intentional preservation of a vessel designed for extraordinary impact. But here's what might shake you most. Your struggles weren't punishments. They were preparations. Every betrayal taught you discernment. Every loss revealed what truly matters. Every dark night trained your eyes to see in realms where others stumble blind. God doesn't waste pain. Every ounce of suffering you've endured is being converted into authority, wisdom, and power that will liberate others still trapped in the very nightmares you've escaped. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next message. What's coming will help you step fully into the power you've been carrying unconsciously. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. You've probably wondered why your spiritual gift feels more like a curse sometimes. Why wouldn't you just be normal, blissfully unaware, living a simple life without these burdens? Because normal wasn't your assignment. Simplicity wasn't your design. You were architected for complexity, equipped for warfare, chosen specifically because your spirit could handle what would annihilate average souls. The prophet Jeremiah tried to quit. He said the fire in his bones was too much, the rejection too painful, the assignment too heavy. But he couldn't stop, because the calling wasn't negotiable. It was woven into his spiritual DNA before conception, just like yours. You didn't volunteer for this. You were drafted before time began, selected in eternity, prepared through genealogies you didn't choose, positioned through circumstances you didn't orchestrate. And here's the paradox. The very sensitivity that makes you vulnerable is simultaneously your greatest weapon. Your ability to feel deeply means you can heal deeply. Your capacity to absorb pain means you can transmute it into power. Your tendency to carry others' burdens means you're training for a level of authority that requires exactly that capacity. Warriors aren't forged in comfort. Generals aren't trained in peacetime. Chosen ones aren't developed through ease. The intensity of your preparation reveals the magnitude of your deployment. Right now, even as you read these words, something is shifting in your awareness. Pieces are connecting. Experiences are reframing. What you've labeled as weakness is being revealed as weaponry. What you've seen as disadvantage is emerging as divine advantage. Your tears weren't signs of fragility. They were evidence of a heart still tender in a world growing cold. Your exhaustion wasn't proof of failure. It was the natural result of fighting battles in realms where others don't even know war exists. Every moment you thought you were too sensitive, you were actually perfectly calibrated. Every time you felt too much, you were operating exactly as designed. Every instance you wished you were different, you were already exactly who you needed to be. The world doesn't need more people who feel less. It needs people like you who feel more, see more, carry more, because that's the only way to rescue those drowning in darkness while pretending everything's fine. Your spirit has been doing the work of 10 people, maybe 100, maybe more. While you slept, it stood watch. While you rested, it interceded. While you recovered, it battled forces attempting to infiltrate your bloodline, your home, your future. And the most beautiful part? You don't have to fully understand it to benefit from it. Your conscious cooperation isn't required for heaven's unconscious protection. God's been covering you without your permission, defending you without your awareness, preparing you despite your resistance. But what happens when you finally wake up to it? When you stop fighting your sensitivity and start wielding it? When you cease apologizing for your depth and begin deploying it? Leave a comment below, sharing one thing that's shifted in how you see yourself after watching this. Your words might be the confirmation someone else desperately needs. Everything changes. You transition from victim of your gift to master of it. From someone things happen to someone who makes things happen through spiritual authority. From passively enduring to actively commanding. The same sensitivity that once overwhelmed you becomes radar detecting threats miles away. The same emotional depth that felt crushing becomes reservoir supplying strength to the weary. The same spiritual awareness that seemed burdensome becomes access to intelligence enemy forces can't predict or counter. You start recognizing that random thought to pray for someone as divine assignment. That sudden unease around a person as spiritual discernment. That unexplained peace, despite circumstances, as confirmation you're exactly where you're meant to be. You begin moving differently, speaking differently, engaging differently. Not from arrogance, but from awareness. You stop explaining yourself to people operating on frequencies they can't perceive. You stop defending your boundaries to those who can't respect invisible warfare. You start honoring the exhaustion as evidence of labor, not laziness. Respecting the isolation as necessary for recalibration, not punishment. Embracing the difference as distinction, not defect. And here's what the enemy feared most: you discovering who you really are. Because a chosen one who knows their identity is unstoppable. A spiritual warrior who understands their authority is undefeatable. A divine agent who recognizes their assignment is undeniable. That's why everything tried to keep you confused, ashamed, silent, small. Because your awakening triggers chain reactions in the spiritual realm that hell cannot contain. When you rise into awareness, others rise with you. When you step into power, portals open for those behind you. When you embrace your calling, you validate the callings of countless others still questioning their own. You're not just healing for yourself, you're healing for generations. Not just breaking free for your benefit, but demolishing chains holding captive those you'll never meet. Not just surviving for personal victory, but modeling resurrection for millions watching from the shadows, wondering if breakthrough is actually possible. It is. You're living proof. Every breath you take, in defiance of what should have destroyed you, is a prophetic declaration that darkness doesn't get the final word. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. You know exactly who just came to mind. That's not coincidence, it's assignment. So what now? How do you move forward with this awareness? First, stop apologizing for taking up space. Your presence isn't intrusion, it's intervention. Every room you enter is better because you're in it, whether people recognize it or not. Second, trust your spiritual instincts without needing external validation. If something feels off, it probably is. If someone seems dangerous, they likely are. Your discernment has been proven accurate too many times to keep dismissing it as paranoia. Third, rest without guilt. When your body demands stillness, honor it. That's not laziness. That's recovery from battles others didn't see you fight. Warriors need downtime. Soldiers require restoration. You've earned the right to recuperate. Fourth, speak your truth even when your voice shakes. Silence has protected you in seasons where speaking would have been dangerous, but there are moments when your voice carries authority that shifts atmospheres. Learn to discern the difference. Fifth, surround yourself with people who don't drain you. Not everyone deserves access to your energy. Some people are assigned to extract what they didn't earn. Protect your peace like the sacred resource it is. Sixth, remember that your worth isn't determined by productivity. You're not valuable because of what you do. You're valuable because of who you are. A chosen vessel, a divine instrument, a heavenly agent operating on assignment that transcends human comprehension. The journey ahead won't always be easy, but it will be purposeful. Every step you take in awareness amplifies your impact. Every choice you make from spiritual understanding rather than human limitation creates ripples in realms you can't see, but will eventually witness. You're entering a season where the invisible becomes visible, where the labor of your spirit finally manifests in tangible fruit, where the years of preparation meet the moment of deployment. And when you look back on this moment, you'll recognize it as the turning point, the instant you